Hey, everybody, this is Jonathan Ogden, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
Hey, Bruin fans, this is David Singleton, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show. Go Bruins.
Hey, this is Wayne Cook, and you're listening to What's Bruin Show.
Hey, guys, it's Chris Johnson, UCLA national champion. I need y'all to listen to the What's Bruin Show. These dudes are off the hook.
This is Maurice Jones-Drew, and you're listening to the What's Bruin Show.
You're listening to the What's Bruin Show, part of the What's Bruin Show network, with your hosts, Jake Berryfield and Mike Regalado, and occasionally some friends, talking all things UCLA sports. And now, it's time for the What's Bruin Show.
Hello and welcome to What's Bruin. I am your host, Jake Merrifield, and I'm joined by Mike Regalado once again for the second time tonight.
Big applause, Big Mike.
Because
What's up,
we recorded a really awesome opening segment featuring Jackson Shirley, one of my twin nephews, and it's all for naught because I forgot to plug the goddamn soundboard into the goddamn computer. So F everything in regards to the lost 7 minutes of the show, and we'll just move on from there because we have things to celebrate. UCLA, the women's team won the national championship, and Mike's really excited about that. He's fresh off the road from Phoenix. Mike, how was your drive back?
Really good. I heard, before I did my podcast, the road from the Final Four. Well,
Iron Mike.
See what I did there?
That's right.
Yeah, I heard.
Like a car cast.
I heard the recap that you did with the Godfather Jim Bendat, which was amazing, by the way. Those little snippets that he sent you.
He did a great job.
The whole thing was great, Jake, because you talked about it, and it was like on-site reporting where you were just inserting these key moments that you were talking about, recapping the game. So that was brilliant. So I was listening to that. I think I was dwelling in about 20 minutes worth of just taking it all in, driving back to LA, just what I experienced, which I'll talk to in a bit.
Yeah.
And you said that you're hoping that I would drive safe because I'd probably be all manic, which I probably should have been. But I think the exhaustion, being exhausted from
fairly mellow,
covering this team, getting in a fight with Husky fan accounts all season long, getting support by the UCLA fan accounts, getting love from them. That was pretty cool. But just to see it ultimately culminate in a UCLA women's basketball championship, first in 78, the first NCAA championship. So yeah, so my ride back was awesome. It was actually was about the same time going there.
Go Bruins.
It was the same going there as it was coming back. But I don't know. I just cloud nine. I just feel like I coasted.
Very cool.
And really quickly, shout out to my homie Mike Brown, who I met out there. We played Topgolf with his 2 sons. If you're ever doing a Phoenix or Arizona drive and you're coming back to LA, stop in Quartzsite.
Very nice.
$4.15.
Wow.
For gas. And my buddy was like, yeah, look at the gas once you cross the California border. I jumped up to $6.80.
Yeah, I was in Texas. I paid like $3.75.
Damn. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wonderful California government.
But anyway, yeah, so like got my gas, drove back into LA, got back around 11:30 midnight on Sunday. Still on cloud nine. I was watching the recap on ESPN and just just all the vibes. We'll get into that. But yeah, we have a few other headlines to talk about.
So once again, What's Bruin Show on the What's Bruin Show network. If you didn't listen to the post game we did after the Final Four matchup, that was fun with the Godfather Jim Bendat, and then we did a championship game post game with the Godfather Jim Bendat. Thank you to him for reporting, and the wonderful Saint out there. They enjoyed their weekend, and then like I said, Mike already mentioned he had his post game live on the road from the Final Four. So a lot of content for you regarding this women's basketball national championship. We're very excited for them, and I know I'm very excited for Mike because he's been covering them for years and years and years and years and years, and it's culminated seemingly in this wonderful championship, although we hope that they are a very good program going forward as well, because why wouldn't they be now that they're finally over this hump? But we have a lot of other stuff to talk about before we talk about that, so let's get to some sort of headlines. They're not the Gojo Bruin headlines. They're not the old headlines that we used to talk about. Now I guess they're the 24/7 sports headlines.
With we should do something with like a bear,
something like that,
growling or something like that. 24/7.
I mean, how can we audibly express 24/7, which would like just be like an all-nighter, perpetual all-nighter? Like I wish, we could just have a logo like a like a sleepy eye or something that's still watching. I don't know.
I want
maybe like a propped open eye, like Clockwork Orange.
I want to rock and roll Bruin style all night and party every day.
Hey,
24/7 style.
If any of you guys have any ideas of what we can, there you go. That's the go-to mic of how we can express the headlines with the affiliated headlines of 24/7. Let me know.
Hello, Mr. Benton.
So, anyways, Mike, headlines. What do you got? As you're chewing on cheesy bread.
Jake made some cheesy bread and it's amazing. Sorry, people. It's okay. Very unprofessional.
Thank you.
But
it's okay, Mike. We're a very unprofessional show.
Headlines. Well, UCLA.
There's one credentialed journalist here, and he's chewing on cheesy bread. So what does that tell you?
It's good cheesy bread.
Good. I'm glad.
Dude, I was snacking all weekend long.
Nice.
Well, Bob Chesney got his first offensive line coach, offensive line commit over this last week. Jackson Hill from Chaminade, kind of a local WBS kind of connection there.
Definitely. And we definitely did not, we definitely didn't dump a whole segment where we called one of the twins and had them talk about possibly their classmate.
Yeah.
That sucked.
But I think it's a year under because he's a 2027 commit.
Yeah,
so,
junior. Sounds like a real nice kid.
Offensive line commit, so that's good. One thing that you talked to Jim Mora about when he first started is that you got to recruit the offensive lineman.
Got to have the offensive
Got to recruit the offensive lineman.
Absolutely.
And that seems to be the case here. Really quick note. I've been to one spring practice, but Connor and Jack from Bruin 24/7 have been on site for the last 3 practices.
Nice.
And basically, it looks like the offensive line is slowly coming together. Very important piece of the offense. One key notable is that center Sam Yoon has been injured. So Rebel, who's a transfer from, he's right guard transfer
Rebel.
from James Madison.
Rebel?
No, not quite. No,
Friend of the show, Jason Rebel.
Different
spelled
Rebel.
R-U-B-E-L?
A younger Rebel. He has been.
I was more filled out. My Rebel's tall and slim. Well, this guy's looks like a football player.
Yeah, definitely so. It looked like he might be tagged as a right guard, but apparently he's been at the center position, taken over for Yoon. So, excuse me, it seems like there's going to be a little bit of competition there, but we're only 3 days into spring, so not a lot to take away. Maybe some depth stuff, but one of the things that I'm hearing is that Scooter Jackson is really turning some heads and
outstanding.
Is getting the catching Bob Chesney's eye. On a continuing with the positivity. Just 2 days after UCLA women's basketball won the national title, Ginny Ann Dumont commits to the Bruins. She's a 4-star guard, committed to the 2027 recruiting class, and this is pretty freaking huge. She's out of Charlotte, North Carolina. She's the number 40 player in the 2027 recruiting class, and
Bruins,
just already,
right?
I mean, the Bruins are going to lose 6 players this season. So Corey Close only has 1 recruit coming in, 1 non-transfer recruit coming in, and she says she's definitely going to have to look to the transfer portal this offseason. But looking forward, winning a national title gets you some attention. So the Bruins have a 4-star combo guard coming in 2027. One negative recruiting note is that Sky Clark, who was injured most of the season, but was by far the UCLA's best shooter and one of their best defenders, he will not be returning. It is not for certain if he is getting that 5th year of eligibility, but if he does, it's not going to be with UCLA as he put his name in the transfer portal.
Wow.
And it seemed pretty certain because he also made a social media post saying, "Thank you, Bruin fans." So
sounds rumpy pumpy.
A guy that is essentially a Mick Cronin guy is leaving. I mean, we got guys like Eric Daly, Trent Perry, coming back, a few other guys, but Sky Clark's announcement, that's a little bit of shocker.
How many of the guys from last year's team were eligible to come back? How many out of how many? Roughly
5, I believe. Yeah.
So 5-ish?
Yeah, so Freeney's coming back. Was it Booker, I believe? And Daly and Perry. Daly and Perry were the 2 big ones. Sky Clark would have helped this out a lot, but without him, that puts a dent in UCLA's
He's not there now either.
hopes going forward. Yeah,
Dent's gone too.
I mean, not Dent. Sorry, Clark. I was talking about Clark.
No, I know, but you said it puts a
Clark,
dent in.
Yeah, exactly.
I said,
yeah.
see what I did there.
Sky
but
Clark put a dent in the recruiting.
You can't label this as some sort of mass exodus. It's just they lost a guy. Okay. Well, I mean,
they lost the most important guy that would possibly return. But
you think Sky Clark is the most important guy or the other guy?
Oh no, Clark for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
Just the way that he improved from last season to this past season. Yeah, he would have been a huge addition to the Bruins roster for next season. But yeah, as of now, I mean, I don't want to get into this yet. I don't know. Transfers really haven't worked for. I mean, they've worked for Cronin the last 2-3 seasons, but it hasn't gotten him anywhere. We thought that was going to change with Donovan Dent coming in, and Dent took forever to kind of feel comfortable with the team, but. Who knows who they're going to bring in yet? Obviously, the transfer portal opened today, so we're going to see over the next 2 weeks who UCLA brings in, and it better be stellar, because if it's not, we're going to have a repeat of what we saw this year, and this year wasn't great. The last 3 seasons haven't been great, so Cronin really has to knock it out of the park.
Well, we found a way to be optimistic about them going into each year the last few years, and it hasn't worked out. So I'm curious. I'm really curious to see how it does work out, Mike. Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. All right. Well, you have any other headlines?
No, that's it. That's Sky Clark. We will miss thee.
All right. Well, let's get to some women's basketball talk. National champion. Championship. In honor of Nancy and Carrie and Mike.
Basketball.
Yay, they win the title. UCLA routes South Carolina 79-51. It's funny for the Gamecocks. They had like the highest of highs, lowest of lows. They go from kicking the living shit out of UConn unexpectedly, getting their asses beat by UCLA in the championship
awesome.
game. And it was wonderful for us to watch it. It was an absolutely terrific game, one that didn't have a whole lot of stress for Bruin fans, other than a little tidbit in the second quarter where they had a few straight turnovers in a row, like 4 or 5 in a row. But otherwise, the women dominated this game. They had an 11-point lead after 1, a 13-point lead after 2, and blew it open in the third, and then just coasted to the finish. That's the only quarter in which South Carolina outscored the Bruins, but I mean, the game was decided midway through the third quarter.
Yeah.
Mike, you went out there. You enjoyed the whole Final Four, so I want to talk about that first, and then we'll get into the actual championship game. But just give me a couple sentences about how excited you are about this team actually winning the title this year.
Man, I was there with Chris Johnson. You know, this is his first season doing this stuff, so I'm privy to how things work. So by the 5-minute mark in the fourth quarter, I was like, let's get down there. That was for both games.
Right.
I was like, let's get down there and see what we can get. So I'm, we're just cutting through me. I'm 5'10" Mexican guy who's wearing a black suit and a loud blue and red shirt with a tie, and this tall 6'4" guy just cutting through people, cutting through the crowd. Just an amazing experience. It's like there were a couple times where I was kind of getting choked up a bit, a little teary-eyed, but at the same time I was like, wait a minute, I gotta focus. I gotta get these shots. I gotta frame this moment in time, freeze it, take the pictures, take the videos, do what you can to just really have this experience, this core memory just solidified in my skull. So I just had a fantastic time. I kind of knew that they would win. I just had this feeling. This team has just been running on all cylinders, and people talking about South Carolina and Connecticut and Texas and LSU. And I just had a good feeling about it. This is how good a feeling I had about it. A month ago, I called my buddy Mike Brown, who I met out in Gilbert, Arizona. We went to Top Golf with his buddies, and he was telling his sons, Mike called me a month ago and says, hey, what are you doing at the beginning of April? And he was like, nothing. I was like, I'm most likely going to be in Phoenix. UCLA is in the tournament, and they're most likely going to be in the championship game, the Final Four. And he goes, really? How do you know? And I was like, and he turned to his boys and he said, Mike Regalado said, I just know. So,
Very good.
I just knew it. But yeah, just going back on the whole experience, it was really fun. It was the first time I was in Phoenix too. I have weird thoughts about Phoenix, but it was just good. I do got to say, downtown Phoenix really brought it for the Final Four teams.
Nice.
Like just signage on all the hotels where the teams are staying, concerts. Just a big bracket on one of the buildings that's across from also Mortgage Matchup Center.
Yeah.
That is one of the worst names for an arena. This corporate sponsorship is getting ridiculous.
Yeah.
Great arena though. That is an amazing arena. But just they went all out. It was just the first day I was there, you just saw orange and blue and dark blue for Connecticut and that crimson scarlet. I don't know what the official South Carolina color is, but just really fun to see all of these fan bases converge onto one city to watch the game. So I get there. I get to the first game, which is UConn and South Carolina. Obviously, everyone's rooting for. Everyone is expecting Connecticut to win.
Yeah.
South Carolina comes out of nowhere. They were just. They didn't. They had a few punches, but they didn't have any knockout punches. But to keep UConn, a team that has not lost all season long, and was winning games by like 30. Well, this is what we've been talking about, Jake. Once they actually play a good team and not these, little, podunk rinky-dink colleges from, middle America and somewhere up the Appalachian range, it showed. They played against a great South Carolina team, and they got their teeth knocked in. And then just to see there, we were looking down, and we see the interaction between Gino Auriemma and Don Staley, and they're just going at each other.
That was crazy.
And me, I'm thinking in the back of my head, get him, get Gino, get him, Don Staley. I love Don Staley. She's amazing. I had nothing but great things to say about Corey Close and the Bruins after her defeat. But yeah, so
Mike, I do want to ask you a couple questions about what you're saying about UConn, because you're right. You have said all year they ain't played nobody. And what's going to happen to them when they play somebody?
Yeah.
Now, their tournament run, though, right up until they got their ass kicked by South Carolina, they lost by 14 to South Carolina, other number one team, the only number one team that they faced. But during their trip, they had to play a 4-seed North Carolina that's not chopped liver, right?
They were good. North Carolina's good. Yeah.
And Notre Dame, I'm imagining they were a 6-seed.
That was
they had
close.
To have an upset, but they weren't chopped liver either, right?
No. Notre Dame was underwhelming this season, but they had a late season push, and Hannah Hidalgo is just a amazing basketball player. They gave him a bit of a scare, but yeah, Connecticut ultimately pulled that one out.
So I mean, Connecticut was a very good team, but they looks like the crazy thing about it is, it seems like they were the worst of the number ones, even though they were by far the favorite. If you looked at the betting odds, and if I posted on the Twitter and on my Facebook that the UCLA women bought me a guitar, which I'll forever be grateful to them for, because I bet on the Final Four game against Texas, and then I bet on the Bruins to win the title before the Final Four, and that netted enough to buy this guitar or whatever. But the reason that was because I was just flabbergasted. The Bruins' odds to win the Final Four were the same odds they had at the beginning of the tournament. Basically, they were like plus 550.
Yeah.
After round one, plus 550. After round two, plus 550.
And they had the worst odds going into the Final Four, didn't they?
That's crazy. Well, on some books, like we talked about, on some books they did, and I looked at another one, and it was slightly out, not that. But the bottom line is that UConn was the only one that was minus odds, and Texas, South Carolina, and UCLA were all somewhere in the neighborhood of plus
100, 200,
no, plus 500.
Oh, they were
500.
Oh, I thought I saw.
So that's the UConn and Vegas and the national media had UConn as such heavy favorites.
Yeah,
and the one thing I'll agree with you on, Mike, like I don't know about the they ain't played nobody thing, because it looked like they played at least a couple somebodies in the tournament, but they turns out were the weakest of the top four. Because I mean, the way UCLA and Texas played, I would have liked to see Texas take on South Carolina. So I'll bet you they would have beat not South Carolina. I think Texas would have beat UConn too. And we know UCLA would have beat UConn.
Oh,
don't
yeah.
Don't we, Mike?
Oh,
don't we, Mike?
yeah.
Don't we, Mike?
Oh, yeah.
And we saw South Carolina beat them. So that
Yeah.
is kind of the crazy thing. They're the ones that had the stupid commercial on the entire NCAA tournament. F you guys, and that stupid commercial. That was a dumb commercial. I don't know who thought of that. The players in that commercial, I feel bad for them having been such a stupid commercial because they're wonderful players. Sarah Strong's a G and all that stuff. But Oriana, you're a punk, and that commercial was stupid, and we shouldn't have had to watch it.
Yeah.
Maybe next year we can watch a dumb commercial of the Bruins. That'd be nice. Anyways, UConn, the worst of the 1 seeds. Who would have thunk it?
Which is weird because the final
Mike
AP,
would've thunk it.
the final AP came out, and it was UCLA, South Carolina, UConn, and Texas. So the AP voters clearly thought, that was embarrassing.
Because Texas took a couple of L's during the year,
exactly.
Right? So I mean,
that was UConn's
They still
first.
finished with 1 loss.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get it.
Yeah, but as I've been saying all season long, UCLA is the number 1 team in the nation, and they proved me right. Woof.
Which good job, Mike. I think
Called
that's
it.
Good job, Mike. So anyways, you got to watch.
So that was the Final
fight.
Four experience. Yeah.
What'd you think of the Texas game?
Woof.
Because you didn't really talk about the Texas game.
Okay. Corey Close has been talking about defense all season long. Thank God that was there because offense was not. This was
For either team.
Horrible. This was just oh God. This was like it wasn't even a slugfest. It was just like, hey, we're going to try to shoot and, oh, well, we can't go over your 6'7". And UCLA just missing, easy buckets here and there. Not as bad as they did the weekend before, but it wasn't exactly a slow start, but it wasn't one that gave them a lot of momentum. But luckily, UCLA's defense was just absolutely amazing, and they swarmed Texas. Oh my God!
And I ran these stats after the championship game or after the Final Four games. Early, the first weekend, the 1 through 8 seeds, basically all the favorites, shot around 50% collectively. Okay, the second weekend, so basically all the 1 through 4 seeds, all the favorites, shot collectively a little more than 45%.
Mm-hmm.
In the Final Four, all the teams playing, shot 35%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like that was that championship, that Final Four round was rough, especially UCLA.
Those were just
Texas.
4 heavy hitters going after each other. It was awesome to see. But yeah, there was not a lot of offense until the championship game, which we're getting, or which we'll get into. But yeah,
But still, the Bruins only shot 43%, but they held the Gamecocks at 29%.
But it was tight through like maybe the late third quarter and fourth quarter when UCLA started pulling away. I think they were up by 11 at one point. I remember at the 5-minute mark when I was going to go down for the interviews and all that. Took a little bit to get down, but once I got to the floor level, they had this big ass screen in back, under the bleachers and all that. Texas got back to within 4 points, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is happening. But they go back and forth. Kiki Rice hits some free throws, and Lauren Betts blocks Madison Booker to basically seal the game. And just a huge sigh of relief.
Yeah.
That was the only stress I had all weekend long was those not even full. That was a full 2 hours of stress.
By the way, a game the Bruins were not favored in.
No, that was crazy. I'm like, sure, Texas beat them, but come on. Look at all the teams UCLA has beaten.
And by the way, not favored to beat the Gamecocks either.
No. So take that, Vegas. So that was just a kind of a nail biter.
Guitar.
Right? So that was just a nail biter of a Final Four game. So the Bruins move on. They face Don Staley. Before that championship game, they faced South Carolina 3 times in the last 3 seasons. The last time was November 2024 at Pauley Pavilion, and that's when the Gamecocks came in as the number 1 seed in the nation. UCLA beat them by, I think, 15, and they snatched that number 1 ranking from them, held it for the majority of the season. But they know each other. Not only are they Staley and Close, but they know each other just because that's the way the schedule has played out over the last few seasons. But I thought that I predicted a 9-point UCLA win because I'm like, Dawn Staley always has her players ready. They just punched Connecticut in the mouth. And then the first quarter happened in the championship game. UCLA goes up 21-10, fueled by a very, very excited and focused and just beast of a player in Gabriela Jaquez, who in the first 5 minutes of the game had 4 points, 5 rebounds, and I think 2 assists.
It's ridiculous.
She ended the game with 21 points, but it was like she set the tone. Which was good too, because like it just pushed everybody else, especially because Lauren Betts had to sit for a little bit after at the end of that first quarter, where she was just seen coughing into a towel. Now it turned out she was fine, but I guess the dry desert weather air affected her. After the game, I asked her about it, and she said, yeah, they were trying everything. She had water. She said it was a problem because she was running down court and she couldn't breathe. So she came out, had some water. They gave her a throat lozenge. They gave her like nasal spray and kind of cleared stuff up. But after that, she was fine. And yeah, but during that time that she was sitting, UCLA was extending their lead to go up 11 points on four-time national champion South Carolina. Well, in the Dawn Staley era.
Yeah, at the end of that first quarter, it was Kiki Rice, right, with that killer shot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the three-pointer at the buzzer, yeah.
Exclamation point on it, right? And then, Mike, number one, the only time they really had any real adversity was a segment in the middle of the second quarter where...
Their second quarter lull, yeah.
where they were turning the ball over frequently and they weren't really scoring. It's funny, when I said this on my post game, but when I looked back and remembered it, I was like, oh, the South Carolina got the lead to like 4 or 5 during that point.
Yeah.
But they didn't. Like they never got closer than like 9 or 10, I don't think.
Yeah, they outscored the Bruins in that quarter, right?
No. They did not score the That's what I'm saying. Is
no. Sorry.
I felt like it was so much closer, but it wasn't. And that's how great of a first 3 quarters this was for the Bruins, they just, even in their worst moment, they still never really got too close in the game.
Yeah.
And just everybody was contributing, Mike. So obviously you just talked about Gabriela Jaquez, who played the game of her freaking life and put up stats in like every category. Betts throughout this tournament and in this game in particular, do you have anything to say about her? Obviously the team's best player overall.
I mean, she's the mop, and that's not disrespectful because you think she's an actual mop. But I guess that's the term being used. Most outstanding player.
Yeah, I don't like it
throughout the tournament. Yeah, just it's Lauren Betts, just amazing. For all the stuff that she's gone through, just to be so resilient and become one of the best players in the nation. She's the best player on the best team. That takes a lot mentally and physically, but she came through. Had to change jerseys in that game at one point because I guess there was
a lot going on in that game.
Oh, really quickly, going back to Gino Auriemma having a fit in that first game, saying, "Well, the officials need to call this closer. How can my player get her jersey ripped?" And then they showed her she ripped her own jersey. It's like, dude, what's going on?
By the way, as a whole, the Final Four, like I don't think, like he's saying you should call it closer. What did you think about? Like, I thought the whistle was almost non-existent. Like they let them wrestle through the majority of the final weekend, but I didn't mind it. I was okay with that, and it worked out in the Bruins' favor, obviously. But it actually was refreshing to have not just an automatic, very quick whistle.
Yeah,
like it was nice.
Yeah, they let him play, but there were a few that were like, come, look, I can see it. I'm up in the freaking upper tier. I can see it from up here. Call something, and it was on both sides too.
It definitely went both ways.
But hey, let them play. It just shows how physical women's basketball can be. I mean, we have blood on the court.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Crazy. It was pretty crazy.
But no, I did like that. There were, like I said, I wish there were a few calls that were a little bit. I wish there were a few plays that were actually called. But for the most part, I did like the way that they just played. Especially, just all the pomp and circumstance and fanfare. The commercials were like freaking 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
I was like, call timeout. during the Final Four, I was like, okay, cool. We'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm like, this is taking long.
Still
like,
waiting.
oh, that's right. It's ESPN. It's national championship. Commercials are going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I think that also helped UCLA too. Just having extended timeouts. So-
Mike, Kiki Rice throughout this tournament, she had a big championship game as well. 10 points, 3 for 7, 3 for the free throw line. The killer basket at the end of the quarter, and I want to say down the stretch she made some free throws as well.
Yeah.
5 assists, only 2 turnovers, 3 steals. What do you have to say about Kiki Rice?
Just composed. You know, she doesn't put up the best numbers, but at the same time, she makes everybody around her better. She can find, she can get the pass into the low post. You know, she's just quick. She has good field vision, and we saw it. She's a veteran, and she proved it. Just definitely amazing to see her progress from when she first committed to UCLA out of Sidwell Friends School in Maryland to just turn into this just NBA prospect, WNBA prospect, and she was just composed. Just did not seem phased, did not seem like a kid, like maybe she might have looked 2 years ago. This was a senior on a mission, and she just delivered.
She definitely was stepping up at the big moments, you know, when she had the opportunity to do it. And you know, it was very cool to watch her play. Neepkins, 26 minutes, 15 points, 3 for 7 from the three-point line with a couple free throws and 4 assists. She was kind of set up to be like their gunner, their sharpshooter, and she came through on that. What do you think about Neepkins?
Neepkins? You mean Threepkins?
There you go.
Just she was hitting some key shots, and not only just like 3-pointers, but there were a couple mid-range shots where they were needed at the moment, especially with that crowd. Sidebar: the crowd was amazing. The Bruin fans showed up. Probably
Nice.
it's easy to show up when you have a 45-minute flight east or a 5-minute drive. The Bruin fans showed up, so kudos to them. But when UCLA would go on a run, when they would hit a big shot, it was loud in there, and that I think helped fuel the Bruins' run in different games. But yeah, Gianna Neepkins was solid. Just the same with Charlie's Leisure Walker.
Well, I want to talk about her.
Subtle.
Yeah, she also played 26 minutes. The field goal percentage, 4 for 12, 2 for 5 3-point line. But she had 4 turnovers to only 2 assists. I kind of said this on the show that I did, Mike. I just like watching her play, and like all of her ideas didn't exactly work out during the Final Four weekend. But I thought she created so many opportunities for other players. So like her stat line doesn't really show it, but she would make the play that was right before the play that was a big play for the Bruins.
Yes,
and even when it was like her recklessly driving to the rack, it would turn into a rebound score for somebody else or something like that. But I'm going to get to my favorite player on this team, in next, but Charlize Leisure Walker really I just really liked watching her play, even if it wasn't the most productive of the team. She was just kind of a joy to watch. And she's the she came from Morgan State,
Washington
right?
State.
Washington State, yeah. And lit the Bruins up before she came to
exactly
to Westwood. So what do you think about Leisure Walker?
Just amazing. Like, 'cause she's a leader. And
there's a lot of leaders on this team. That's what
which was
I
great.
noticed.
Yeah. But like I heard this last year when she was injured. She just has such a high basketball IQ that she's like another coach on the court.
Right.
If we were to pick a coach on the court, it would be Charlize. She just knows what to do. She had some mistakes, and there were some of those turnovers. She was a part of it, but there were what was it? I think 11 turnovers in the game against Texas. It was like, protect the damn ball. What the hell's wrong with you? You're all seniors. But she found ways to make up for it. She had like you said, 4 turnovers and 2 assists, but yet she's one of the best assists to turnover. Let me rephrase this. She's one of the best players in the country with that assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, obviously the Bruins are a low turnover team.
Yes,
typically.
Yeah, very much
but
so.
I thought that reckless abandon served them well. Even like I said, if her individual plays didn't work out quite right, it led to something better for the Bruins. I thought just with how fast, with as much energy as she's playing, just balling out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now,
one last thing. I think she's going to get to the WNBA, but I think she's going to be an amazing coach.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So very cool. And then of the players who played a lot, there were other players that Sienna Betts played a little bit, Amanda Muse played a little bit in the championship game. Bilic did, but the one I would mention is Dugalich, and
biggest smile biggest bully.
Except for when she's frowning imperiously.
And
like, so
staring
cool.
down people.
So
oh my
cool.
God. I'm like, dude, what was it against Texas, I think, where maybe it was a block or something, and she just kind of like almost Shaq-like, just kind of like towered over the
just
I was
giant
like,
long arms.
Damn,
Yeah.
look at her go.
That was really awesome.
She just one of the storylines, which we knew, but
Definitely
obviously
a sixth starter for the Bruins.
yeah,
right?
just there's a reason she was the sixth player of the year.
There you go.
She was a starter the last 2 years, but she said, Coach, I'm going to make this easy for you. I'll come off the bench. And that took some weight off of Corey Close's shoulders. And yeah, when she comes in, she's been coming off the bench several times. And there were, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 games where she was the leading scorer. That just shows how badass she is.
Yeah.
And then just UCLA wins the Final Four game. They win the national championship. I go to interview her in the locker room after both games, and she's just calmly just sitting there. It's like, hi, yeah, it feels great to do this and all that. And I'm thinking, are you the same person that just stared down your opponent? I'm going to miss her quite a bit. She was another transfer, but I think she's been at UCLA for 4 years, but her career was 5 where she started at Oregon. But yeah, I know what you're saying, Jay. I'm going to miss her quite a bit too, like this entire team. But Angela Duglic has been, I would say she's been the heart of the team for the last several years.
And that's very cool. And like you said, this has kind of been this is certainly a culmination year for this group, right? So many of them are seniors, some are leaving, some are going off the WNBA, and now Coach Corey Close is going to have to, kind of gather things up again and see where they're at, hopefully reload going into next year. And Mike, Corey Close, you've been saying for years that she needed to collect some hardware. She had an NIT under her belt before last year. Then last year she gets a tournament title in the Big Ten, and then she gets a Final Four appearance.
Yeah.
And we thought that even though we weren't happy with how they went out against UConn last year at all, right? Because they kind of got smoked. I remember how disconsolate you were at that point, Mike. But
I wanted to smash things.
It was a step forward.
Yeah.
And then this year, we said that they had to at least make the championship game, in our opinion.
Yeah.
But I think we both thought this is the year to win the title.
Definitely. Yeah, I said that in my post game. This cements Corey Close and UCLA as an elite team right now. Historically, not so much. They had that one championship 47 years ago, but they've done nothing since. It looked promising with Nikki Fargas. She was the coach that was before Corey. But then she got taken away by LSU, and I was like, oh, great. UCLA was kind of finally on the up.
Yeah.
And who's this Corey Close person? And she has a few good seasons and then brings in Jordan Canada, kind of disappointing regular season, but they go all the way to the WNIT. And it was at that point I was like, there's something to this team. And just along the way, players like Jordan Canada, Michaela Onyenwere, just these players that have made an impact. Charisma Osborne, not exactly championship level, but they helped elevate this program, and I just could see just greatness in what they're doing. And yeah, especially once they got Kiki, Gabriella, Duglic came in. Duglic was hurt for like the first few seasons.
Betts
she didn't have a main
too, right?
impact. Yes, yeah. Betts came from Stanford. Didn't play much at Stanford, but played a hell of a lot at UCLA. I just could see like this team is just stuck at Stanford coming together, and they've been on the cusp of greatness. Like they've proven that they're a great team. While this win cements them as an elite team. Now, Corey's going to need to have to sustain that because you have 6 seniors leaving.
Yeah,
but this is this at this moment. UCLA women's basketball
actually getting
is
over
an
the
elite
hump
team.
is very cool.
Oh God, yeah. And like you said, like last year, or was it the year before? I was a little bit disappointed the year before, but last year, I said they needed some hardware. They finally got it. They got a Final Four banner. They got a Big Ten tournament championship. But
you were crushed 2 years ago. You were very disappointed last year just because of the way they lost. But they did hit the check marks that you wanted them to hit last year.
Yeah, and I was like,
still
you know
upset,
what?
but they hit the check marks. This year, obviously, they come through with flying colors.
Yeah. And one of the things that Corey Close said is that last year, their first time in the Final Four, they were reacting to the situations and not anticipating, which makes a lot of sense. That's your first time in the Final Four, and now this year they were saying, "Oh, the older players were telling the younger players, this is what's going to happen. Be ready at this time. You only have this much time. Get this ready. Get ready for this. Get ready for this." So they knew what to expect.
So we obviously want to enjoy this for this basketball team and enjoy. They have all summer to enjoy this. Going into next year, they have to enjoy this. A lot of the players are going to be off doing other things. The ones that are being retained, they'll add some to this mix. Hopefully, a nice class and be a pretty good team next year. However, Mike, next year looks to be sort of a culmination year of sorts for the girls across town, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And is that the last year that Juju can play? Is it the last?
No, I think Juju's only a junior.
Oh my God! So
yeah, exactly.
So that's a problem, right? Like there now is a really a huge rival, not just in the Big Ten, but in town for this team. As Corey Close is going to have to rebuild this roster.
Yeah.
How important is it for you in the next couple of years, especially if they're going to have to deal with that across town for the next couple of years? I don't know if you're going to be able to realistically have expectations that they'll be better than the Trojans across town, but how important is it for you that they are like remain in contact, stay close, and give themselves the opportunity to compete against that other team, and build into another championship team down the line? I mean, do you have any thoughts about that at all?
I did. I was actually thinking about that the last 2 days. Obviously, she's going to get attention. She just won a national championship. She has players that believed in her system, players that believed in her, and Corey Close made all the players believe in each other. That's like, you don't hear that. Like, I was thinking about this. Another sidebar of all the toxic masculinity little rants by guys like Gina Auriemma, Dan. Hurley, Mick Cronin, he had his little meltdown. I didn't see that from, we make fun of, Kim Mulkey, but she never had any meltdown. Staley, Corey Close, never a meltdown. Every time they lost, they owned it. They owned up to it. So she's created a culture, and I think players are going to see that. So going back to your original question, I think with losing a good core, I truly believe Corey can bridge the gap next season. I don't think they're going to be national. Unless they get all studs in the transfer portal, I don't think they're going to be a national title contender. But she has.
Well, you win the national title.
Yeah,
she has possibilities there.
Yeah, they just got a 4-star that's going to come in 2027.
Yeah.
So I think next year will be we understand, but the year after, that's when I think the heat should be, brought back. It's like, look, you won a national championship. Cool. That was then. You got to win another. And I think she can. I think, honestly, 3 years until she wins another at the very least.
And Mike, I won't go so far as to say like she's got to win the title again. It would be nice, but certainly you want a team that is like the last 2 years, competing for the Final Four, trying to get to the Final Four, and then seeing what happens after that, right? Because, you really never know what's going to happen once you get to this championship round. This year, obviously, they were so loaded, and they still caught everybody but the people in L.A. by surprise. Nobody believed in them. Just look at the odds.
Especially,
until they fucking dominated everybody.
I kept this hidden. I saw back in November, because USC, the last 3 years, they've, I think this is right. The last 3 years, they've gotten the number one player in the nation.
Yeah.
They got Juju, they got Jazzy Davidson, and I forget the number one player this year. Arash Markazi comes out and says, I think in 2027, LA is going to get their next championship, and it's going to be USC. I was like, didn't say anything. I bookmarked that. Found it when UCLA was on that stage, and I wrote, "You forgot about a certain team."
Nice.
Boom. But yeah, it just shows how like even people in their own city, their own coast, are writing them off. And yeah, this at the very least proves that don't write off Corey Close. She'll be back. Next year's not going to be as great as this year.
Maybe.
I don't think they're going to be horrible. I don't think they're going to be UCLA men's basketball transfer horrible, but I think they will have enough people to make them competitive in the Big Ten and maybe at least go to the Elite Eight.
I just think that's the target you need to set. Obviously, this is going to be a step back year because how could you have a team as good as this one?
God, yeah, exactly.
So it's going to step back no matter what. But if you can put out another quality team that is a contending team like that would be fantastic. And then anything you get after that would be gravy. And then, like you said, you build for the following year. Okay. Well, Mike, this was fun. Do you have anything else to say about this NCAA title winning team? Go Bruins.
No, it was good to just see a lot of reporters I haven't seen in a while. Haley, cause she was a beat reporter for UCLA, but then she moved over to USC. Jack Hazlitt. What is he? Sporting Tribune. That guy's a peach. If you don't follow him, that guy is just truly awesome. I saw the guys from bickering aside from the former the Mighty Bruin site and the Gojo Bruin sites. Joe Pachowski, I saw him and his partner Dimitri out there. We hugged after the game. We're like, dude, they won. Yeah. We've been waiting for this. You know, so it was cool to see all those people out there. I will say this: ESPN, they had total coverage of this place.
How great their coverage was.
It was really good, but all the ESPN people, they just stuck together. I mean, sure, you're ESPN, of course you're going to be awesome, but just the entire experience was just really fun. I will say this about Phoenix: a couple good spots, but definitely not my town. It's weird. I noticed. I was talking about Phoenix today with one of my coworkers, and she said downtown Phoenix is just a bit soulless. I'm like, yes, there's no character in it. It reminded me of like Indianapolis, and I'm not saying Indianapolis is soulless, but it's just like a 3-4 block metropolitan area, and then just goes flat, and it's just like we're a big city. I'm like, are you?
You didn't take my bar recommendation.
Which one?
The one I said on the show right before the Final Four game, because I was at Mitski and I met a bartender from Phoenix, and I was going to go to the bar, the Easy Tiger Bar, but it was a little haul from where you were at. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe there was some soul there. Who knows?
Probably.
Nice barman.
No, yeah.
That would have been Shay at the Easy Tiger Bar.
I did go to this one bar that was across the street from the that was right across the street from the arena, the Mortgage Match Center. God, that's a horrible
It's a bad name.
And I sit there. I just want a beer. I have my iPad because I'm starting my national championship preview. And there's this old lady that's like up 2 seats away. And she's like, "Oh, did you see the game?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I just came from in reporting. I'm actually trying to do it right now." And just a chatterbox. I'm like, "Okay, you want to talk?" Looks like I'm only going to have one beer here. But yeah, she starts going on about it. Then she starts going on a political rant. I'm like, "Okay, ma'am, it was nice to meet you. Look, I'm going to go."
So long. That's funny.
I did find this one Irish pub, which had really good Irish food.
We were saying that, yeah.
I went there during the day. I went there at night just because I just gulped that first beer down and I was like, not ready for bed, still kind of on cloud nine, still thinking about this next article. So I went to that place again where they were playing all goth music, but at the same time, it was like all these 20-year-old weirdo kids and all that. It took forever to get a beer. I'm like, this is weird. But while I'm sitting there, once I finally got a beer, I forgot their name, but there was a couple there and they said, "Are you Mike Regalado?" I'm like, "Yes, I am." And I was half angry because it's been taking me 20 minutes to get a goddamn beer. I was like, "Well, yes, I am. Well, thank you." And that was cool. So we chatted a little bit about UCLA and all that. But Phoenix, nice to visit. Not my town, but the sunsets are incredible.
Nice.
They are good. But.
And the times I've been to Phoenix, I've enjoyed myself, but it's been like, I went to like Sun Devil Stadium, and that was a blast.
Yeah, Tempe's actually cool. Yeah,
there's stuff, but I totally get what you're saying about it. And it's not like the last time I was there with my daughters who were both, they're like 10 and 12. It's not like we're out doing nightlife. We're just there for the game and having fun.
Yeah.
But anyways, I get it, and it makes sense. All right, Mike. Well, I got nothing else. So,
what's brewing with you? You ask me. What's brewing with me? Yeah. What's brewing with you? What's brewing with me? What's brewing with you?
I mean, you kind of just gave it what's brewing, but you got another one.
This whole episode has been a what's brewing for
pretty
me.
much.
So, still on cloud nine. Like I think the fervor has died down because it was a mixture of both me trying to get my job done
sure.
on the court, Although I did collect some confetti, so I got some
Very nice.
a little bit of a souvenir. But just to be right there, just to see Jaime Jaquez right
Which is
there
fun.
celebrating with Gabriela. I did meet. We've had some interactions before, but Mr. Andy Betts, father of Dylan, Sienna, and Lauren. I saw him there because you can't miss him. Dude's like 6'7". Can't believe I just said that.
Yeah.
I went up to him. He was like right there. I was like, Mr. Betts, hey, how you doing? Just want to say hello. Just fan of you and your daughters. I'm Mike Regalado, and he goes, "You're the Twitter guy." I was like, yes, I'm on Twitter. I'm a loudmouth on Twitter. Dude, someone else said that I'm basically the women's beat writer. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Well,
But
I mean,
it was just
Put a
really
lot of work in, Mike.
it's just good to just to get the word out. And the fact that, and I'm not saying this is all me. It definitely wasn't me. Corey Close is doing I would have been a loudmouth no matter what.
Yeah.
But just to be able to see how more and more people just started following UCLA, I'm like, I told you, gotta listen to me. Always listen to me, unless I'm giving you betting advice. Jake, what's wrong with you?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's great. No, I was real happy for you, Mike. It was a lot of fun to. Oh, geez, Christ, Mike. You know what we forgot to do?
What?
We have to do that after this What's Brewing. Well, this is out of order. We're doing
Okay.
the goddamn calls, man. We have calls about the game. We
Well,
didn't do any calls.
Let's do it.
Yeah, anyways, my What's Brewing is just, I'm happy for you, Mike. I enjoyed doing the post game. I thought I was going to go to Phoenix, and I ended up not doing it. And I'm actually glad I didn't, because I was able to do more on the production for the shows here. I was able to watch the games on the TV here very closely and have a lot of fun with that. And then I got to cook and bake. I made some apple fritters. I made a steak.
Which again, Jake,
We had a nice time.
your all of your post game content
I appreciate
was
it.
awesome. It felt like a KNX 1070 news beat, because you were talking about the game, and you actually had live audio from The Godfather as you're explaining the game.
And once again,
just hit that applause button, Jake. Hit that applause
I
button.
do appreciate it. And of course, all the credit goes to The Godfather for sending those in. Very, very pleased with that. So with that being said, I mean, Jesus Christ, Mike, we have so many calls. So let's just get to the calls. And I'm sorry, I almost forgot. I would have been really mad if we would have had all these calls and we forgot to do the calls. So here are the calls. First one, I'm just going to play them and we'll respond to them.
Okay.
I think this is from our other correspondents out there, Bob and his sons.
Those guys were awesome.
Bruin Show. We got Bob Stimson and Basin back for I don't know how many times. We are in the first row. We are 45 feet from where they're cutting down the nets. It is amazing. What am I looking at? Confetti on the ground. All
Everywhere,
colors.
everywhere.
Our pockets are full of confetti.
Very cool.
We'll be framing it when we get home.
40, 30, 25 feet from us, doing an interview with ESPN. Students are down low. The crowd is still on the court. They're trying to get us to leave, but we are not leaving this arena. They're going to drag our bodies out of here. That's what it feels like. How could you possibly leave?
Yeah.
Amazing feeling on the floor. What else, Stinson?
Just a great team win to take
Tremendous
home
team win. Hawkes
the
is so good.
2026
Needs to be
national
so
title.
good. Everything was great. Lauren Betts was great.
What a
wonderful.
feeling.
National
Yeah.
champions. We're going to remember this day for the rest of our lives. Right, Smith?
Go Bruins.
Go
Yeah.
Bruins.
Go
Go
Bruins.
Bruins.
Very, very cool. I'm so glad you guys got to go to that.
I'm currently showing Jake all of my pictures I took, especially of the confetti. Where's that one picture? The
Make
one.
sure you send me a couple of those so I can put it on the screen.
Oh yeah, dude, this was like right in front of me. Like all the confetti
I
on
want
the
that one, yeah.
floor.
That'll be the
Video Kiki right here cutting down the nets. Lauren cutting down the nets. Yeah, just freaking. I even have video of their dance routine. There it is.
Oh, I love the dance routine. Yeah,
I got
send
it.
that too. That's so
I got
cool.
it. So
I'll send
yeah,
it to
I
the
will
girls.
send you. I'll send you all this.
Yeah, please do.
But yeah, dude. Yeah, you guys know what it was like. You said 25 feet, just pure exhilaration.
Very cool. Here's Nancy.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Nancy.
Hello.
With
Raphael's here.
and
What's up, Raphael?
my grandson. We miss Carrie, but we're here at the Final Four, the final championship game, and it was outstanding. You felt from the first moment, I really never was worried that we were going to lose.
It's like Mike.
And as the game progressed, I could feel like the team was just holding South Carolina out there. And as they went along, they got South Carolina more and more frustrated, and they knew they were going to lose. It was literally, I'm so glad we decided yesterday afternoon to drive the millions of miles from Oakland to Phoenix. to be here. It was the best day ever in my life.
Oh,
And
yeah.
congratulations, Mike. We saw you down in the crew, and looking forward to your report. Everybody celebrate. This is something very special.
Yep, we are national championships champions.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Nancy, thank you so much. And once again, Nancy and Carrie reported from the second weekend of the NCAA tournament, and thank you once again for that. And that was super cool because Nancy texted us that she's like, I can't remember if she texted me that she was on the road or that she was already there. But at one point after they beat Texas, they're like, I'm there. I'm like, great, that's awesome.
Nice.
So very, very excited for Nancy, and that is like super cool that she got to go there with her grandson, who's also a Bruin.
What's Bruin Show? It's Carrie.
Yay, Carrie.
I really enjoyed the Godfathers and Bob's in-game reporting. So thanks very much to them.
Go Bruins.
I am very, very happy. I think this team was definitely underrated.
Yes.
And it's, after seeing them in Sacramento and how they struggled against Duke, it almost feels like they definitely rose to the level of the competition and just turned on the kill switch once they got to Phoenix. So I'm just so happy for them, and just watching these seniors for 3 or 4 years, you just get to know them, in terms of what media gives access to, and they just did it the right way. And I think it's a real tribute to not just Coach Corey Close, but to her focus on John Wooden's style of coaching and implementing that. And, it's interesting that I don't think I've seen a basketball coach do that since John Wooden left. And it's kind of head-scratching, but I really enjoyed that part. Just her commitment to doing it the right way and building women and to the best that they can be, from a character perspective and from a basketball perspective. I'm just really proud of them, and it was such a joy to watch them these last 40 seasons, especially. So, congratulations. And I think that's all I have other than UCLA baseball's kicking ass.
That's right.
And happy to see that Bob Chesney went to Phoenix. I love the support that he's giving this team and probably other teams in the future. Just going to Phoenix and being there and experiencing what winning the national championship feels like at UCLA. So I've just got really good vibes from Bob Chesney, as do many others. All right, that's all I have. Thank you so much for your show, What's Bruin Show. And and also the shout out to Mike for being, one of the few reporters
Iron Mike
to be following women's basketball, and maybe even the first.
She's getting
wish
cut
I
off here.
knew more about that, but
We love Mike. She got cut off. Good job, Mike.
I'm just doing my job, yo. I'm just preaching the good word of UCLA women's basketball.
And thank you once again, Carrie and Nancy, for reporting the
Seriously,
second weekend.
awesome.
We love you both. That's awesome. All right, here's Crispy Bruin.
Hey guys, it's Crispy Bruin.
What's up, bro?
Calling the day after the Women's National Championship. Words can't describe how great this team has been, their competitive greatness all year.
Mike, I just had a thought, and I'm going to pause Crispy here for a second, but there's also a little added bonus to UCLA winning this particular national title this year in women's basketball, because 10 years ago, it wasn't getting covered like it is now. So this is kind of an elevated women's basketball title in relation to the other ones.
Right place,
and so
right
it's
time,
kind of
yeah.
nice. Yeah, it is a little bit of a right place, right time. So let's see if they can capitalize this as a program and as a school. There's a lot more coverage going into this, even if it hasn't quite matched the men's yet, or the football or any of that stuff, but it's elevating, which is nice. All right, Crispy, back to you.
So I'll just share two things. One, it's so gratifying seeing Coach Close finally kind of reach the mountaintop from a hardware perspective, but still keep that kind of focus on the process. There really is a John Wooden disciple left coaching with Coach Close, in my opinion. So just really gratifying that she's able to kind of reach the pinnacle of the sport. And then just a personal anecdote, I was at a football game with a friend earlier this year. UCLA got shellacked. But the women's team was being honored during one of the first quarter breaks. And they're all just milling about on the sideline. But there's one woman who's kind of sticking out from the rest. And my friend, who knows nothing about women's basketball, points at her and he goes, "Who is that? She's huge." I go, "That's Lauren Betts. She's going to be the best player in the country this year." And she didn't receive the recognition I thought she deserved. She didn't receive the recognition she probably would have on a less balanced team. But gosh darn it, like, that was the best player in the country this year. I don't care what anyone else says. Her and the entire team just really exhibited mental fortitude and competitive greatness throughout the season. So hats off to them, hats off to the coach and the staff, hats off to everyone who was able to make this possible. Just one of those days where you're really proud to be a Bruin. All right, thanks, guys.
No doubt. Thank you, Crispy, very much. And Mike, you were telling me before the show that tonight, this is Tuesday night, they're actually going on a kind of a publicity tour the next couple days, aren't they?
Yeah. We didn't even talk about this. Yeah. So, okay, let's go by chronological order. Today they did Jimmy Kimmel Live. That will air 11 p.m. in your time zone. That was recorded earlier in the day on Tuesday, to where they will then go to the Lakers game and be honored. Right. I don't know who the Lakers are playing, but yeah, they're going to be honored by the Lakers. Tomorrow, there is a celebration for the women's basketball team at 6 p.m. at Poly Pavilion. I'll be there. I'm going to have access to the team and chat with them a little bit more while the UCLA community celebrates their achievement. But immediately after that, they are going directly to the Clippers game. So tonight the Lakers are going to celebrate the UCLA women's basketball team. Tomorrow the Clippers are going to celebrate the UCLA basketball team. So you're right, a publicity tour.
Very super cool, man. Very super cool. So I don't know who this is going to be, but it's a nice long call. Let's see who it is.
Hi, Jake. Hi, Mike. Hi, everybody.
Nancy again.
Nancy again. First off, I just want to start with a quote that came years ago when I taught school. We had a big performance and one of the teachers asked the student, "Did you enjoy the show?" And the kid, this was a couple of days later, said, "I am still enjoying it." And I feel the same way about going to see that final game. I am still enjoying it. It's almost like it's hard to believe that we were actually there. We decided to go on the afternoon of Saturday. My grandson and I got there very late in the middle of the night, got up to see the Bruins off from the hotel and went to the game and then drove home. But what was, beyond the incredible event of them winning the championship, it was so much fun to meet and talk with Bruins, no matter where you were. Of course, I totally embarrassed my grandson, but I could go up and talk to people, and, being an old lady, you can get away with that. And just so many friendly
Very
Bruins
nice, Nancy.
from everywhere. We met a couple from Lancaster, and we live in Rosamond, and we met Bruins from all over the place. It was really an incredible event, and I highly recommend it if someone could afford it. I'm not sure they'll have that unique juxtaposition of being within driving distance and having a championship team for a few years, and just have a limited shelf life. It just seemed like I should go, and so we did. I'm still enjoying it, and I'm also still tired. But I wanted to say, Mike, we were on the road at the same time. I know we were because we talked about the sunsets too. And I
Nice.
really enjoyed listening to your show and driving home. And all in all, it just was meant to be. When I watched the girls practice on ESPN2 on Saturday, was one of the things that threw us into this decision. they were so loose and so confident and so relaxed. And I thought, this is a team that's not going to be dissuaded by the bright lights. They are on a mission, and they're comfortable with that mission, and they know they can succeed. And in that first few minutes when Gab scored 5 points and Lauren, the first 2 baskets, I said, this is it. And I had a friend at home who's saying, oh, I'm so nervous. And I said, I'm not nervous at all. It's weird. I know they're going to do it. And it was at the beginning of the fourth quarter, I said to the UConn people that were sitting next to us, it's mathematically impossible for us to lose the game now.
And then she's she dropped off, and she's gonna finish again right now.
Well, really quick before you
go ahead.
I was gonna say before you play that, I thought the same thing. Going at halftime, UCLA is up double digits. I'm like, I've seen this come back. We saw UConn men come back against Duke and beat them. So I'm like, this is a Don Staley team. Ain't no way you count them out right now. But you kind of could feel it. And going into the fourth quarter, South Carolina was down 29 points, I think, and they had only scored 13 in a quarter in the first 3 quarters. And I was like, I kind of felt the same way, but even still, just knowing sports, I was like, I can't celebrate until 0-0-0. But yeah, you could kind of feel it. I even asked Lauren Betts, when did you feel that you locked this up? And I was hoping she'd say maybe third quarter, fourth quarter. She goes, oh, pregame shoot around. I just felt it. I was like, damn, baller. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Here's Nancy again.
Just want to finish up really quickly. My question is, Mike, are you still enjoying it? Are you still enjoying being there with all those people and watching the event unfold? And best wishes to all the Bruins. I'm going to be there Wednesday night for the celebration. I hope other people will join us. And it's a great day to be a Bruin.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Bye-bye, Nancy. That was very, very
I'm
cool.
going to be enjoying this for the rest of my life.
Nice.
First off, I have a secret Twitter account, and I've just been laying into the UConn people. I'm joking. I do not have that. I'm not doing that. But our UCLA women's basketball stands, they've been doing that for us, and I very much appreciate all of their work. But no, like I went back to work today, and I was just showing, because people know, they're like, dude, what'd you think of the game? And I was like, just unbelievable. Just the whole experience, the atmosphere. And then, Nancy, those sunsets were amazing. There was one point. So I was listening to the post game that Jake and the Godfather did. I wanted to hear that before I bring up my thoughts, because I was like numb driving out of Phoenix. And yeah, just listening to that and then kind of getting this serene feel, especially with the sunsets. There was at one point, the right side of the sky was red and the left side of the sky was blue, and there was this gray cloud in the middle. I'm like, I don't know how this is happening, but maybe it's a sign. This is amazing. It's gorgeous. And that at that point, I was like, I know what I want to say. And that's when I went into my post game. And just bravo again, Jake. Hit the applause button. Bravo to Jake and just helping out in the home studio, because I told him, I was like, I wanted to do a post game. I sent it to him when I had a rest stop.
Yeah, it all worked out.
And yeah, like 2 hours later, it was already up. So I listened to it on the way home, and I was like kind of half delirious. I was still awake. I had a lot of coffee. I had actually in Quartzsite, where I got gas for $4.15.
Yeah.
Got a slice of pizza, a really good slice of pizza from a gas station.
Nice.
Got some like brutal coffee that was hot and just strong. I coasted in. By the time I hit Indio, I was awake.
Nice.
I was like, still got an hour to go. Let's do this.
Nice.
As soon as I got home, I was just like, go to bed, you idiot. Goes crashing, watching the game. But thank you, Nancy.
Very good. All right, last call. I think it's going to bleed over into a second call, but I think same person.
Hey, Jake. Hey, Mike. It's Leo.
It's Leo.
Leo, who I saw.
Did you see Leo?
Yeah, he was only there for the first game.
Oh, nice.
So happy for our women's team and for bringing home the national championship to UCLA. Just so happy for them because Coach really made them accessible to fans. A couple of weeks ago, they had the bracket show where they designated UCLA as one of the number 1 seeds. And I know fans were invited. Those that showed up had a chance to get autographs and take pictures and meet the team. Luckily, one of my friends was able to go to the event, and I printed some pictures that I had with Coach Close at the Rose Bowl, another with Kiki and Lauren Betts, and another one with Gabriella. And all those pictures came back to me signed. And what was more exciting was that my friends recorded them, and I got personal shout-outs from them. So I realized, hey, if these girls and Coach Close make it to the Final Four, I'm going to be there. So I couldn't stay for the championship game. I was there against the Texas game, bought the cheapest ticket I could find. I was probably sitting up there with Mike in the press row that was up in the rafters. But snuck my way down in the South Carolina section.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell the rest of the story, Leo.
And what was neat at the stadium was at the first game, they gave scarves to everybody. So from the second
everybody got scarves.
Or third level, I could see there was a row without people hadn't taken the scarves. So I came down, sat down, and enjoyed the UConn South Carolina game. And once the UCLA game, Texas started, moved down a little bit closer. So gave myself really nice seats with my friend Kim, who stayed for both games and was able to celebrate the championship. I think Bob Chesney did a wonderful job making a presence there. He gets it and so excited. And Mick Lavin, I don't think I've seen him say anything. The Instagram account for men's basketball didn't really acknowledge the championship. And there's a clip with like Trent Perry was there and Jaime Hawkins, an alum, was there. But I feel that we need to throw all of our energy and effort and money behind women's basketball again, like we did this season, and football. They deserve it, and we'll see what happens with our men's team. All right, that's it. Hope I didn't go over my 3 minutes. Go Bruins.
You're good, Leo. Nice work. And then that was fantastic. I'm glad he got to go out. It's too bad he had to come back before the title game, but that's all right, man. One last call.
Hey, it's Leo again. Forgot to shout out UCLA alumni and UCLA athletics. They had a pregame event about 3-4 hours before the Texas UCLA tip-off, and was able to meet our chancellor, Julio Frank. Approached them, thanked them in Spanish and in English for coming to UCLA and showing love for athletics. At the event, got to meet Eric Hendricks and thanked him for being part of the committee that brought Chesney to UCLA. After the game, the Texas-UCLA game, so excited. I didn't care. I went up to Lauren Betts' mom and gave her a hug and asked her a selfie. She's become famous in that Allstate commercial as she's blowing kisses and sending hearts to Lauren in that commercial. So, yeah, that's it. Thanks. Bye.
Thanks, Leo. And once again, glad you had such a blast.
Speaking of, you were talking about the bad commercials. Well, okay. Those string of college fan, was it Allstate? College fan experiences.
Terrible.
The UCLA one is I loved it.
Oh, really?
Because you have that emo guy that thinks that Lauren and Sienna are like saying, I love you.
No. I'm thinking of different ones.
No.
I think I saw an NCAA commercial where it's in like a classroom, like a Saved by the Bell thing, and I hated it. Anyways, I don't want to.
I liked where they were going, but yeah, no. So that was cool, but yeah, no. Oh, Leo, you forgot the most important part. At one point during the 5-minute timeouts, they're saying like, "Oh, let's get the dad bods dancing," and I was kind of like in my notes, and I kind of like look up and I see this one guy who's like just getting crazy, and he has like Bruins across his stomach. I didn't look at the face. I looked down. Blah blah blah. 10 minutes later, I get a video from Leo. That was him. It was him on the big screen getting all the cheers for everybody, just busting a move. I was like, of course it's you. But Leo is the one of the biggest cheerleaders for UCLA athletics. And yeah, he also sent me a picture of him with Julio Frank. I was like, of course you did. Of course you did.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, Leo, bring that energy into next season. Let's go.
All right. Well, great. Guys, thank you to everybody for calling into the show. Mike, thank you for going and covering the UCLA women's basketball team. Thank you to the UCLA women's basketball players for winning the national title, and Coach Corey Close as well. All super, super, super cool. We'll be back next week to talk about, kind of get back to normal pace, talk about football and spring camp and all that stuff. But until then, let's enjoy the women winning the title. And Mike, until next time, what do we say?
Go Bruins!
There we go.
Good evening.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em.
That was the What's Bruin Show.
Oh my God.
Try us tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
It's got to be in or out, Mom. In or out. Well, I need the door closed.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Dude, Rob, we play some ball on the West Coast.
The final word is boob.